Previously on A Fool's Errand.
We last left our network defenders within the Dream Network, having made the jump to the second tier, only to find themselves beset by a nightmarish being who seeks their bad memories. The party's attempts to destroy this malevolent creature triggers disturbing visions. Snowshoe sees KnightFall, the missing network defender who blames him for their disappearance. Chase, the assassin, is haunted by the voices of their past victims. And Brass witnesses his sibling KnightFall and one of his mothers, Symphonic, calling out to him. As the battle rages on, our defenders' disturbing memories continue to surface until finally Chase's expert marksmanship delivers a decisive blow. Defeated, the shadows bleed off this unsettling entity until what remains is the network manifestation of Uncle Edict, a prominent spectre leader. In a moment of kindness, Snowshoe reaches into this manifestation and attempts to heal it in an internal, emotional sense. As he does so, Uncle Edict's doppel is simultaneously dragged further into the networks. But as the defenders take their first real steps into the emotions tier to follow Edict's doppel, Snowshoe's own emotions pull from the tier another memory, this time of his former partner, Stella, on the last day he saw her. Brass is able to witness this memory made manifest and recognizes that Stella is, in fact, his mother, Itinerant. With this revelation, tensions between our heroes increase as Brass holds Snowshoe responsible for his family's hardships, both for Itinerant's abandonment of them and for KnightFall's disappearance. But the network defenders must put the mission ahead of personal grievances, and so they press on toward the third and final tier of the Dream Network, reached by asking a question, then receiving an answer from the Arcana. Brass wishes to know what is hurting KnightFall, and the lovers answer. The first cause of harm is the Temper Temporal, a place further inside the Dream Network from whence the nightmare creature came. The second thing hurting Brass's sibling is a human known as X. Chase asks where they can find their current mark. The Chariot's response? With KnightFall. And finally, Snowshoe asks why the networks are breaking apart, and he receives his answer from the High Priestess. A great journey changes change, and with it, changes time, and the networks react accordingly. And with that, we return now to our Fool's Errand. Will our trio triumph in the face of tribulation? Or will they succumb to the trials of the treacherous networks and find themselves trapped alongside the one they came to free? To find out, my dearest darlings, stay tuned for this, the final installment of The Network Defenders.
I can hear you.
I am listening.
I can
Yeah, the dissonance.
Coming from all across your deepest fears.
Oh, how I miss you, my sibling.
I miss the
Symphonies.
The eager pace.
The perfect shot.
Oh, these calamities,
These vacant and populous plains.
Oh, the memories we have in waiting.
but always with the
Warning that we are on a reverberating path of echoes.
You will be tired. You will be
Vulnerable.
Weakened.
Exposed.
Do not despair.
You'll be.
Fools on an errand.
You will know.
Planet Arcana.
You will find
All it takes is a little spit and oil.
All it takes is a little blood.
All it takes is the truth.
All it takes
is a key.
Manifestations, the final tier. A place with no set visual elements, no commonality. This tier is dictated entirely by the visitor's intentions and what they aim to, will manifest. Few people venture this far due to the danger of the networks and its calamitous trials. And speaking of calamities, you've now incurred 2, and when they occur, they will sting. But on the flip side of the coin, you've pleased the lovers and the High Priestess. From each of them, you have earned a boon. These boons can be used at any point in any way by the players, so long as they reflect that major arcana's tenets. And as for the calamities, 2 will be visited upon you before we are through here. The manifestations tier pulls at you deeply, tugging on long-buried thoughts and emotions. Chase, the nature of the question you asked, it has pulled up something very specific. You asked, "Where is my mark?" You could have been referring to any mark, but the networks made its own assumption. Or perhaps it wants to convey something, or perhaps pulled from your mind the mark that haunts you the most. In any case, it pulls you into a memory. One with marble floors, vaulted ceilings, blue-tinted glazing along the walls that provide a near 360-degree panorama of the city, and at the center of the room, a dining table, far too long for just 3 people. But 3 people sit at it. You and your parents eat together, and the atmosphere is tense. Your mother, Mrs. Hunt, refilling her wine glass with sharp, angry motions and downing half the wine in one gulp. Your father, Mr. Hush, furiously cutting into his steak, his cutlery very loud on the fine china, and their clipped, angry words as you discuss your most recent foray. Your failed mark. You were meant to kill X. And you hesitated. You hesitated, Chase. I've never known you to hesitate before, and on this occasion, you hesitated.
I'm sorry. I don't know what happened. I just froze or something.
Froze or something? Chase, this is quite serious. I hope you understand that. You must resolve this mark. Our family's reputation is on the line.
You think I don't know that? I'll get it done. Just because I fucked up once doesn't mean I will do it every time.
I'm very glad to hear that, Chase, because now it is your job to take her down. No one has ever survived us. Do not let her be the first, particularly... Dear Mr. Calm down, my love. And she gestures towards Mr. Hush. Especially because, Chase, of the dirt that she has on this family.
No, we've been over this a million times, Mom.
We have, haven't we? And we went over it before the mission, and you hesitated.
Okay, I won't. This time I'll do it right. And I think Chase, they just abruptly stand up from the table, push their chair back. I'm not hungry anymore. May I be excused, please?
It's all right with your father?
Dad, please.
Your father looks deep into his wine glass, and there's an uncomfortable moment of silence here before he looks up at you and opens his mouth to speak. And you might be surprised to find that it is not his voice that comes out of him, but rather X's.
Chase, so you brought reinforcements to finish the job. Couldn't do it on your own? Afraid you'll hesitate? Well, go right ahead. You won't find me.
That's what you think.
And Brass, I know you want to kill me for what I did, but I didn't know it was a smash and grab regular scrapper stuff. I didn't even know you were there until we got caught here, until I saw KnightFall's memories, and now I relive them constantly. The explosions, your screams, I can hear it every single waking moment. Isn't that punishment enough?
Nowhere near enough what you deserve.
Chase, the memory begins to fade around you. Let me ask you this. What was the dirt that X had on your family?
So the reason why my parents are so adamant about no one surviving our marks is they were each other's marks, but they could not best the other.
So this is Mr. and Mrs. Smith. I'm sorry.
They were each other's marks, and they couldn't best the other, so here we are. Part of me thinks they just don't want me to make the same mistake they did, but I think they still carry a level of shame and regret for being disobedient to the tenets that they both live so adamantly and thoroughly through.
And you flee from this memory, this iconic memory of parents who insist that you not make the mistakes that they themselves have made.
And you have all manifested in the final tier of the Dream Network, the Manifestations tier. The Temporal, the recondite place that you know holds KnightFall and X, has manifested here too. The Manifestations tier, rearranging itself to reflect its visitor's intent, is in this case under the influence of a corrupted doppel. Though none of you have ever laid eyes on the Temporal, you are somehow positive that it has not always resembled a modern cathedral with a cloud android's face carved above the entrance.
Brass has always had almost an air of just constant anger around them. I think that was very obvious, very clear when he first joined this group. And I think especially in the network, that seems to, as physical as you can get in the network, radiate off him. It's almost like you can feel the waves, pulses of air, heat coming off of him as he glares at Chase after this memory becomes shared with not just them, but him as well. Who is X?
The mark I let get away. And I think Chase says that with a lot of regret, frustration, and a little bit of listlessness behind it as well. But they're not looking directly at you. It's to the floor.
And why did you let them get away?
I just did. I hesitated. That's why I don't hesitate now. That's why I'm not going to hesitate again.
Why did you hesitate?
And Chase pinches the bridge of their nose between their fingertips, kind of rustling their hair back over the side of their face. You can tell that they're internally fighting whether or not to tell the actual truth. I couldn't.
So you care for this ex. That's what you're saying, right?
We don't care about our marks. That's not what we do. We have one job and one job only. And I broke every rule of that job. Everyone.
Chase, you are not an automaton. You have feelings. People have feelings.
I don't have feelings, Snowshoe.
God, you're young.
Brass stops talking and begins walking towards the cathedral, and as he does, I will use one of my abilities, my powers, one that I actually earned between sessions. I'm going to use this magic tier 2 magic ability on the swords power tree called Metamorphosis. As they clench their fists and crack their knuckles, the several rings, save for the one on his index finger, the one that's from his mother, all almost meld together to make spiked knuckle dusters as they walk towards the cathedral.
Drag, that's so hot of you.
Holy shit.
So as I draw 5 cards, transform any object into a different object. So the ring into metal knuckle dusters. Draw 5 cards.
Right. Yes. Sorry, I got so wrapped up in this, I forgot we were playing a game and that the game had rules. I was like, great, that sounds cool to me.
Jay, you are so valid for that. You're so valid.
This is a swords ability, yeah?
Yes, yeah. Tier 2.
So, similar to last time when you had to draw to see how much stamina this will cost you, we're going to do that same thing. You're going to draw 5 cards. For every card that isn't a sword, that's how much stamina this will cost. But in any case, it will be successful. It just might be a little painful.
Okay. Ooh. So I used 4 stamina. I only drew 1 sword.
Wow.
And
You have terrible luck with these abilities.
yeah, I have now also gone up a scar because I only had 3 stamina left.
That's so thematic, though. That shit that just went down, yeah, it scarred
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially fucking changing your body about it.
Yeah.
Like, of
Yeah.
course. Oh man, that is delicious.
God, I love brass knuckles so much. They're so hot.
Brass Oh, the name. It's all coming together.
So looking around this cathedral, can I do an analyze check to see if this is a cathedral that already exists, that now has, in the manifestations tier, Edict's face plastered over it, or if it's, like, basically, Is this someplace else, but with Edict throwing a extra flavor on it in his brain, or is it something Edict imagines built purposefully for him?
I think that you would all probably be able to clock this, as you've all at least taken down like 1 or 2 heavy-hitting targets. Those heavy-hitting targets, you have to go into the final tiers to find them, and typically they manifest a place that's like akin to a mind palace. And this place, it was intimated to you that this place has existed before Edict's influence, so you kind of see that it's almost like adopting visuals from Edict's brain. You definitely know that no cathedral, I think Snowshoe, especially for you, who like your work is tied into the specters, the like spiritual group of the Fifth Collide, you are 100% sure that no one has built a cathedral and put Edict's face on it. So you're 100% sure that like this is his manifestation of this place and certainly his influence.
Skin.
Yeah.
So where, other than just Edict's smarmy looking mug everywhere, what other details here are worthy of note? Are there, because I can't imagine Snowshoe's walked around many cathedrals, but he knows of them. Are there like traps built into this place? Does it look like it?
I think that as you're trying to manifest more details about this place, trying to garner that information, something does manifest for you in front of the cathedral.
Oh, great.
The cloud android in question.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Uncle Edict. Last seen adopting the appearance of the sleepwalker, a sleep paralysis demon who attempted to feed on your bad memories. And now you see him, but as he appears in the real world, although a measure more ghostly, as all doppels are. In the waking world, Uncle Edict is a religious leader trying his hand at politics. And in essence, Snowshoe, he is your boss. But here he looks humbled, regretful, and nervous, a side effect of being healed by you, Snowshoe, in the emotions tier. And I think as he becomes manifest here, he begins to walk towards you.
I am relieved that you made it this far. And healer to healer, I am very glad you're here.
What's happened to you?
Well, I am a healer. That's why I use this place. I only use it to inspire faith, to take people's pain away, to store what tortures them in this place. But I fear I cannot protect it anymore. It's about to explode.
It's about to change.
How so? Tell me.
All things change. I've been visited by an Arcana.
An Arcana?
Yes, Edict. An Arcana.
Which Arcana?
Which one do you think?
Well, this is my area of specialty, of course. I know exactly which Arcana you are referring to. I, Uncle Edict, leader, spiritual leader, know exactly which one, but I'm very interested in hearing.
While I'm distracting Edict a little bit, can I intuit something?
Yeah.
How long has it been since Edict has actually spoken to an Arcana? Any Arcana?
Oh. I might make you draw either a commune check for this, as you kind of like tap into some spirituality, or an intuit check.
Would you like this for my comfort or discomfort deck?
You tell me.
I think Snowshoe knows his way around to few social skills, in a strange sense. Drawing what someone really is thinking out of an inane conversation is something you gotta do when you're dealing with kids. And Snowshoe's kind of used to it, so I feel like this is something he's comfortable with, even though it's against his boss.
Fair enough.
Holy shit, why?
Oh no.
Why would you do this to me? Well, I shuffled you twice.
You're stressing me out. Let me shuffle my decks again.
Yep, do that. So I drew a major arcana.
Very well.
Oh, no.
And I drew the High Priestess again.
Oh, no, buddy.
Oh, interesting.
So that's fun.
Well, we do know, because we've got the boon in waiting, that this Major Arcana's tenets are intuition, subconscious, enshroudedness. And of course, a Major Arcana is a wild card, which means something is going to happen here, some sort of, as B said last time, a changing factor, something heightened, something elevated, and anybody can pitch for this. It is fascinating, though, that you got the intuition Major Arcana on an intuit check.
Yeah, especially considering last time, the last Arcana I drew for, the boon was in fact the High Priestess, and I reshuffled the entire deck afterward. Feel like it really wants me today, and I love it too, is what I will say. I feel like Edict is surrounded with secrets of his own making and with people he can never call friend. And I think that, ironically, almost as if it's a bit reversed, the enshroudedness that surrounded a lot of Edict's beliefs, he's gonna start feeling that Snowshoe is the only person he can trust.
Damn.
And start spilling.
Damn.
If you truly have been communing with the Arcana, then you may be the only person who can help me. Tell me, friend healer, what is your name?
I look quickly at the other two. Tutor Rowan.
A tutor, of course, a tutor, of course. Who else could it be? Who would arrive here to help me regain control of the temporal? Listen, this place has been here for as long as time. Further back than you or I could possibly ever fathom. And now it is on the verge of ruin. And I have done all I can to feed it, to guard it, to keep it held together. I try to communicate with my waking self, but my waking self sometimes has difficulty connecting with me. We have a hard time communicating. He is hurting. And I store more and more of him here as well. And I store more and more of the pain of all of my followers here. And the temporal has developed now a hunger. And it feeds on those who approach. And it's feeding now. Thankfully, for 2 years it fed on one, and now there are 2 more, but I fear the day that it has none inside of it that it can feed on, and it may spread, and it may evade my control.
Maybe it was never meant to be under your control.
It's rather preposterous, is it not? I'm one of the leaders of the spiritual faction of this. Surely I'm welcome here. Surely storing the pain here prevents it from being the Arcana's problem. I'm saving them work. I'm fucking it up. I'm fucking it up too, to Rowan. Tell me what to do.
It's time for you to let go. Your waking self needs you, and you need to reevaluate your priorities.
I trust you too, to Rowan. I felt you heal me, and if you enter, you will find them. You might even be able to save them. All you have to do is...
Uncle Edict's doppel suddenly freezes. He glitches, his voice looping rapidly before his entire being shatters into beams of light. His doppel is gone, ousted from the manifestations tier to reconstitute in the digital network. Something did this to him.
Brass, after all the work we have done to seek retribution for what happened to your family, and we were so close, you turned to the lovers in your hour of need, not me. My disappointment is immense, as will be my calamity. May all your acts of vengeance now take their vengeance on you. It's only fair. And I'll be here when you're ready to restore your honor.
Brass, how many people have you killed seeking vengeance for what happened to Symphonic?
Aw, shit.
Why did I have to come here with 2 murderers?
Do you need the exact number?
Oh, a ballpark.
Because I think Brass has the exact number.
Of course you
Then I'll
keep the
take the-
exact fucking number. You demon Drac.
Exactly 47.
Wow,
Oh.
that is a significant number to us.
I'm exhausted already.
Literally as significant as in, like, we've used that number a lot in this show, and
Oh.
that is fascinating.
It's fascinating.
Above table, I throw that number in this moment.
Wow.
Whoa.
Wow. I love it.
Yo,
I love
That's the
it.
Arcana.
I think we may be getting too close to each other.
That's the Arcana right there,
Something
baby.
is happening.
This is haunted and cursed. 47. As justice speaks and edict shatters into beams of light, you now see a lonesome figure standing behind him. A being made entirely of light. And like a funhouse reflection, it begins to distend, stretching upwards and sideways, frontwards and backwards, and detaching itself from itself as it does, creating other smaller beings of light who themselves continue to divide. You know them. They died at your hands, and they come seeking justice. They are your victims, Brass. All 47 of them.
They care not to take vengeance on your body. They lost everything by your hands. Instead, they seek to take you in your entirety from your sibling. My calamity is upon you.
And the 47 beings of light that represent your victims turn as one and race into the cathedral, into the temporotemporal.
Brass is sprinting after them.
I guess so is Chase. Sprints after Brass. Gun drawn.
How do network abilities work?
That's a great question. One which we don't have a concrete answer to because they're supposed to be quite open-ended in however you would like to interpret them.
Okay. So do I need to like draw or anything like that? Or can I just say I'm going to use a network ability?
You can just do it.
Okay. As I'm chasing down these beams of light and seeing that I'm not catching up, that these things are fast and I'm not fast enough to close the distance, I'm going to, still in that sprint, I'm going to suddenly lunge forward and tap the ground with my hand. And I want to alter the environment, use an environment alteration, and basically almost make a dome or wall to stop these lights avatars from getting any further into the cathedral.
A dome goes up around the cathedral, and they cannot move forward, though they begin to almost chip at it. Their hands similar to those shadowy hands that came flying out of the sleepwalker trying to grasp at your bad memories.
Can I do something horrific?
Oh my god. Only if it's horrific.
Without saying a word, suddenly the hand of Snowshoe overtakes the hand of Brass, touching the ground outside, almost like it's a comforting gesture. But the ripples are felt within the ground, and surrounding the dome, the floor gives way to a massive pit as I also alter the environment.
Oh my god. The floor opens up around these victims, and several of them go slipping in, and several of them grasp onto the actual massive wooden doors of the cathedral itself as they continue to gnaw and scrape and try to break their way through. They have not done so yet. They're encountering a couple of environmental impediments, and almost as in reaction to these attempts, something begins to materialize from the floor of the cathedral and makes its way past these beings of light, through them, grotesquely, and it slowly forms into a strange and uncanny attempt at a humanoid. It looks wrong in ways that are hard to place. Snowshoe and Brass, with this, you are immediately able to identify this as a glitch, a malformed piece of the network, no doubt corrupted by the temporotemporal. Chase, you also know this to be a glitch, but there's an additional sense of horror as you watch this glitch form into a modded human. Tallish, long locks thrown over their right shoulder, fingers that mod into guns, a patchwork jacket. This is a poorly drawn version of you, and it looks to you with a smile that's both warm and far too big for its face.
Oh no. Oh no.
Here's the situation. Brass, your victims are in the middle of scraping through the barrier and attempting to climb back up this chasm that Snowshoe and you have put up between them and the temporotemporal. Justice, the deity of fairness, has told you that they are seeking your sibling, and they aim to remove all trace of you from KnightFall's memories. And now you are face to face with a glitch. Normally we would play this out over several rounds because this threat is not insignificant, but you don't have time. Being careful, being cautious, it means losing the race. There is an alternative. If you push yourself, you can resolve this in one round. It doesn't mean you'll be successful automatically, but if you each sacrifice 2 scars, we will conclude this in a single round for better or for worse. Do we accept?
2 scars?
2 scars.
That is rough.
You said sacrifice 2 scars, as in like we take 2 scars or we give up 2 scars?
You take them.
That would bring me to my next scar threshold. But yes.
Same. But also, yes, I'm going to do it.
What do you think, Sam?
I'm looking to see if I have anything that can counter that. Because I'm pretty sure I do, but I'm not too sure.
Do you have the no card?
No. Unless I can just use the no card I have and be like, no! But yeah, no. Okay, yeah, I'll take it.
Scars have been sacrificed.
Oh, I'm at the scar threshold then too. I just went to the next one.
Are you at 1 or 2?
I have 3 marked now.
3 scars?
Just past the first threshold. Nice.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. Do we all go up to the next scar threshold at the same time or at different times?
I think let's resolve that as we move through this or at the very end. Because the victims, they're digging, they're tunneling. The glitch, it's chasing. It's looking very chasey. And the time to act is nigh.
I'm getting scared, all right?
Literally.
For the purposes of the skill Follow the Clues, when you're successful on a skill draw, carry +1 limit score to your next skill draw. Did pulling a major arcana count as a success for that?
Yeah, for sure.
All right. This is good to know.
This poorly drawn version of Chase looks at you all and opens their mouth, and you are once again surprised to not hear the voice of the person that you expect, but instead hear X's voice. All I wanted to do was get her out and leave KnightFall here in her place, but it didn't work. This place takes its fucking share of you. I'd rather give myself to this place than give you the satisfaction. And this Chase X conglomerate raises their arms, and the horrors that you reflected on the sleepwalker in your previous encounter are now being visited upon you, a torrent of ice shards, sharpened metal, and bullets in every direction. And so I'm going to ask you to resist this. And with that, I would call for either a navigate or a hide check.
From myself?
All 3.
All 3. Okay, you said a navigate or hide.
I imagine this is discomfort.
Actually, it would have been discomfort, but you have given so much of yourselves, Snowshoe and Brass, to get to this moment. You gave yourself to the networks to alter the environment. You gave of yourselves in the form of scars. And because of this, you find yourself with just enough of the upper hand to draw from your comfort decks for this.
Great.
But not Chase, or also Chase in that? I'm okay drawing from the discomfort deck if I have to.
Here's my pitch. Discomfort for this for you, Chase, but because you also gave up scars, comfort for when you do your move.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
Okay, I want to go with navigate. One of my other upgrades was add a 2 to your comfort deck, and that's exactly what I drew.
Yes!
Oh my God.
We love to see it.
So when you make your character at first, you have to take out all the 2s from the deck. And as you level up, one of the upgrades you can take is putting the 2s back in. And boy, oh boy.
Holy clutch. Wow.
I've studied this environment. I described studying this environment right from the get-go, which allows me to reuse a card from my discard pile at any point once during the encounter.
Oh, hell yeah.
I love when you guys use the moves from the game that I forgot we have written.
Yep.
Once again, this will be a wild card with the High Priestess, because that's the only card I've even drawn.
I understand what you were asking your question now.
Would you consider this under the eyes of the law, like the law in world or what have you? You please feel free to say no.
The laws of physics and reality, perhaps.
The natural world order.
I'm very interested to hear where like what you want to do, because I'm very intrigued.
I took Smooth Criminal from the Outlaw playbook that says when you're doing something under the eyes of the law, you may turn a failure into a success once per encounter. But after using this ability, all your next draws must be from your discomfort deck until the encounter is over.
Absolutely.
Yowza.
If lawmakers of the Fifth Collide had any fucking idea that this is something you could do, go into the networks and tear apart an ancient temporal field, it would be against the law. And I love you using this. Incredible pull. I love it.
Yeah, really good.
I pulled it from my discomfort deck and I got a king.
Okay, that is a crit fail. That is a great time to use Smooth Criminal.
Great.
Wow. Incredible.
Incredible. Look at how God works. See how it works out
Holy
with me.
moly.
The stars are in our favor today, huh?
Quite
I'll
literally.
say.
Yeah.
Although
all
I
right.
do feel bad that you now must draw from your discomfort deck until the encounter is over, even though I just said. What do you think, Jay? Do we nullify that?
them's the breaks, I feel like.
Them's the breaks.
Yeah, those
Yeah.
are the breaks.
In the breaks. I used it. That's what it is.
Leveling out some punishment to Chase for that amazing move.
It does make sense because you are fighting yourself right now, and I feel like that might be kind of stressful.
Just a little bit.
Your ex's perception of you.
Quite literally, this is the worst, actually.
Well, incredible. So the horrors that you visited upon the Sleepwalker are bursting out of this glitch. We hear X's voice emanate from it, and then almost immediately, ice shards, sharpened metal, bullets, everything that you fed to the Sleepwalker gets fed right back to you. Everyone who succeeded, so all of you will spend 4 stamina, which is good because it would have been a scar otherwise.
Oh no, not so much because I am out. That was the last bit, the last 4 of my stamina right there.
All you do is take a scar, friend. All you do is take a scar.
All right, and we are at the second scar threshold, baby.
Oh my god.
Guys, stop taking scars.
Brass, you're going to undo the last 4 stamina. You don't take any.
Oh.
Because right at the start of this encounter, I placed my hand right upon Brass, and I feel the presence of someone we both loved. In a way, I will take him as my ward for this small time we have together. And this is the start of the encounter, so I can shield someone, and that's going to be Brass. Each time they suffer stamina loss, I may choose to suffer it instead, so I will take the full 8. Thank you.
Wow.
Oh
The
my
full
god.
Something happens. The same thing that actually happened to you, Chase and Brass, when you entered the digital network at the beginning of this whole foray. You encountered your doppels. Normally your doppels live in the 3rd tier. We are in the Dream Network, Snowshoe's home tier, and we are in the final manifestations tier. And so something appears, and perhaps, Norden, you could describe it to me.
Slowly trotting, although as quickly as the poor boy can, through the snow that tracks behind him as he manifests, is a much younger Snowshoe. The scars on his arms haven't manifested. In fact, he's covered under cloaks and coats, desperate to protect himself from a cold that he still doesn't truly feel. He doesn't look at anybody, but continues forward, shuffling the pack of medication behind him, his feet set into snowshoes. And then I think he looks up.
Snowshoe, your doppel has appeared, and it will assist you in this fight in the form of taking an additional turn.
Sick.
You may take your turn, and you may also take your doppel's turn whenever you feel ready and fit to do so.
I don't think Brass even takes a second look at Snowshoe, even after Snowshoe takes the hit for him. He
Dang.
makes a beeline for this glitch, and I'm going to use Metamorphosis again. What does the ground look like right now?
The ground under your feet is sort of like a non-existent, I would say.
Okay.
Only distinguished by the field sort of slightly ahead of you where you have torn away the ground. It seems to almost deepen and darken, like a lenticular illusion bending downwards.
Okay.
Good pull, B.
Thank you.
Brass makes a beeline for this glitch, and as they do, they tear off the kind of capelet on their shoulder and will jump at this glitch. And as they attempt to wrap this cloak around them, they're going to use Metamorphosis to turn the cloak, once it's wrapped around them, into lead.
Oh my god. Yes. All right, let's draw for it to see how
Jesus
much
Christ.
stamina this costs you.
Holy hell. All right. Well, I guess now I gotta take a headshot instead of a chest shot then, huh?
Oh,
As
boy.
this is happening and as you're drawing, this thing speaks to you, Brass. You think just because you came first, you were the most important? Stellar helped me. I helped Stellar. You know why she never tried to find you, Brass? Because she knew you would fucking try to kill her. You got to be her fondest memory. I got kept a secret. For what? Is that fair?
It's the mute and then the have to lean over and be like, ooh,
As
for me.
they say this, wow, cool. They shouldn't have said anything. Instead of lead,
Oh no.
Oh no!
I would like to turn it into, I don't know, something plutonium.
You're trying to irradiate her?
I'm trying to make it painful. As you can just click, wrap around them and turn it into almost a blanket of solid iridium. My first card I drew was Lovers. I don't think matters in this, but it's
no,
very
it doesn't. But
but yeah, I drew 3 cards that aren't swords, so I take three stamina.
okay, better than last time.
The stamina cost is paid, and the cloak gets thrown over this glitch, and you watch as it falls in an elegant arc, the fabric folding and then freezing in place as it hardens and cracks and glows a painful green as the plutonium encases the top half of this glitch.
And Brass leaps back, putting some distance between them.
We have filled 1 mark on the harm track.
I got 2 turns. Also, I took harm for someone else. That's one of my ribbons. Can I use that to perform a heal check quickly?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, I
oh my
love
god,
that.
thank you.
Okay.
Man, we are seeing all of the rules.
2 cards from comfort, 2 cards from discomfort. Now we shuffle them.
So once your character performs one of their ribbons, they can do a heal check, which basically is there's a bit of chance to it, but if you're lucky, you can heal one of your scars. And if you're not unlucky, nothing happens, but this would be a really good time to heal a scar.
Okay. We got the Queen of Pentacles. That is a suit card from my comfort deck, which means I do heal a scar.
Oh my
Amazing. Wow.
god.
Clutch.
Oh my god.
Would me doing what I just did kind of technical prowess?
Oh, 100%.
Okay, cool. I have a ribbon as well. Okay, cool.
Yes.
Yeah,
Incredible.
hell yeah. You literally turned some shit into plutonium.
Yeah. Let's draw some heal checks because of that plutonium.
Okay, cool. And what do I do for heal checks? I actually don't know. I just saw an ordinarily doing it. I was like, I want to do it too. I want to be cool.
Cool.
So, you can only do this once per session. You pull 2 cards from both your comfort and discomfort deck, then you shuffle them up, and then you'll draw 1. If the card you pull is from your comfort deck, you heal a scar. If it's a major arcana, you heal a scar and spend 3 stamina. And if it's a suit card from your discomfort deck, nothing happens.
Okay, let's see. Oh, this is perfect. Yeah, I got a card from my comfort deck, an Ace of Wands. That's my comfort deck, so I heal.
Oh, I'm sad that you had to spend that critical success on this, but at least it is good.
At least I'm feeling a little bit better.
Yeah.
People say therapy is necessary, but putting plutonium on the person who murdered your parents is much better than therapy.
That's what my grandpappy always said.
That'll heal your scars, absolutely.
I'm going to have to strongly agree.
How many scars do each of you have? You have 4.
I now have 4, yeah.
Well, the next scar I take will be 5.
Okay, here's a question. What are this glitch's weaknesses? Every glitch has one. The last time I faced one, there was a human at the core of it that needed help. Or harm, depending. The point is, each glitch has a weakness. What is this one's weakness? Can I analyze?
Cool.
This is going to be from the comfort deck. I do have a +2 because I'm an inquirer, and an extra +1 because I'm carrying over thanks to following clues. And that is a critical fail.
Oh my
King of Swords, everybody.
Oh no.
Hey, my luck was bound to run out.
And I think it's almost, it does make sense. This is a very guarded, frightened, angry person who believes that you are all against her, which you are. I think there is only one person here who may be able to answer the question about what this glitch's weakness is. The critical fail occurs. You try to probe into this glitch. It lashes out. And as it does, it cracks into that dome that you made, Brass. The floor raises up from the ground slightly. Several of them manage to crack open that door, and they begin to pile into the Temperton portal.
Snowshoe, as this happens, the Chase ex-mutant closes the distance, full of radiation. Oh, Stellar, huh? You loved her the way that she had been loved before, or so you thought. Did you even know I existed? Did she even care to tell you? Tell you about the things that were most important to her, all of her regrets? I was the one who was there for her.
And now you're the one who's trying to destroy her.
So I have quick draw as an ability. I'm going to attempt to hit them, but I also have the ability Push Your Luck. But the thing about Push Your Luck is that it's in relation to my comfort deck. I have to pull from my discomfort deck after that last move. Can I still use Push My Luck with this comfort deck?
Despite how much I am trying to make this difficult on you, you can always strike and hunt from your comfort deck with this ability, Quick Draw.
Okay.
And you can definitely double that up with Push Your Luck. Absolutely. Okay. Which is, if you fail when drawing one of your major skills from your comfort deck, you may attempt to draw it again from the discomfort deck.
Okay. Oh, and that was an immediate fail. Let's pull from this.
Okay.
Hold on.
Come on, discomfort deck.
Queen of Pentacles.
Oof. That's a fail.
This thing speaks to you, Chase, as you go to shoot wide. You want to know the sick thing, Chase? This glitch. What you see, it's a good memory, gone forever from our first night together. We could have just spent a little longer together, Chase.
Everything I have ever wanted and needed in my life has come to ruin on behalf of you, continuously. And then to top that off, you still hurt other people. Why is that something that I would want to continue? You won't be getting away this time.
The terrifying thing, falling into almost consciousness, getting stuck between one realm and another realm. And that's what happened to Snowshoe when he was very young. Feverish, almost lost. He slipped into the networks as a waking person, while not even knowing truly what the networks were. And he remembers Chase. So DMs, there are 2 Snowshoes that I can act as. Both protectors, both got helping hand. I'm gonna have both of them take 2 stamina. And that means +4 to a limit score, which means, Chase, I think you succeed, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I definitely succeed if that's the case.
By 1.
1. By the skin of my fucking teeth.
Wow.
Oh.
Said at the same time, in both old and young. I remember you. Do you remember me? And as you go to shoot, little Snowshoe shucks off his snowshoes and body checks this glitch directly into your path.
That was stressful.
That was a ride.
That was an absolute roller coaster. Holy hell.
And so a second tally goes into the harm track. But we've all acted now, haven't we? And unfortunately, the harm track requires 3 checks, and you have therefore failed the encounter. And so as the bullet pierces the glitch, the dome falters and goes down, finally. You bought a lot of time, Brass and Snowshoe, by altering the environment, but that time has run out. And so, as your victims run into the temporotemporal, you run in after them.
The image of the cathedral begins to shift to a cityscape, one all too familiar to Brass. In the distance, an explosion, dissonant screams. You've manifested a layer of the temporotemporal, deep, hidden, too familiar. Down some streets you see people fighting, crying, overlapping with rooms that float between buildings and pockets of discrete weather patterns fighting for space.
They have guns, go!
Breaking up with me?
So many bad memories are held here. It's time to find your way to the core. It's time to find KnightFall and X. What we're going to do here is we're going to ask for a check from each of you as you navigate the temporotemporal streets. You can choose navigate or hunt for this, and this will determine whether or not you reach your target before Brass's victims do. Unfortunately, your dance with the glitch was unsuccessful, and so as you attempt to move forward, shadows manifest beneath your feet, and hands both android and human reach out and try to grab at you. Your navigate or your hunt checks will be from your discomfort deck, and we will subtract 1 from your limit score to make it just a little bit harder.
As I'm charging into the cathedral, trying to navigate my way through it, I'm going to think hard and long about KnightFall, about their face, how we would play together when we were growing up, how they would always follow me almost like a lost puppy, no matter where we went. And at the time, being as young as I was, I found it annoying, as any older brother would. but in later years, and especially now in adulthood, that almost sibling rivalry has become a deep love between the both of them. And I'm going to reach out to the lovers and use my boon and try to find KnightFall with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. Yes.
That gave me such a delicious idea, Drac.
We are getting too powerful with the system. We're way too excited to do things. I love it.
Yeah, that's so fun for me. So you said pull from your discomfort deck and you're gonna subtract 1 from our limit score. I'm gonna use hunt. I only have a +1 to that, so it makes it a net 0.
Well, my vibe here is that this is a boon from a major arcana, so I'm wondering if it might give you all a boost. I'm thinking maybe it gives you all a boost to your draw, or Brass, whatever you draw is going to be successful.
Oh, no matter what I draw.
I would say either an automatic 1 success from you, or a blanket benefit to all of you.
Just to stay true to who Brass has shown themselves to be, unfortunately, even with the hospitality that they've been shown, I think they only care about getting themselves to KnightFall.
Valid.
Yeah.
From discomfort, you said. Oh, you've got to be joking. I swear upon my mother that I shuffled these. I have pulled from the discomfort deck a major arcana.
Wow.
The Empress.
Oh.
Amazing.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, yeah, in that case, I also pulled from the discomfort deck. I'm going to use hunt, but you said -1, so that leaves that a flat 6.
Just in case, you don't draw from your discomfort deck on hunt, do you? Because you quick draw. You draw from your comfort deck.
It's strike and hunt. You're absolutely correct.
Oh.
Taking care of y'all.
Much
Even-
appreciative. That's
Even in the meta.
so sexy. That's so sexy. Yeah, I pulled a 7 of swords. I don't have to worry about it.
Oh my
even
god.
better.
With a target of 8, right? So you're like well under it? Oh, come on. Oh, that's good. Oh, being an outlaw is good, actually.
Would you say you're 50% good, or?
I'm rather fond of myself, so I'll give it like a smooth 75, 80%.
Ooh, okay.
Only because it's a good day today. Ask me again probably in a couple of days, that answer might be a little different.
They're having a good day. All of you race to catch up with Brass's victims. A voice comes down from the side, from below, from all around you, and says, "Go, bambino, find your sibling, be as a one, heal, be in harmony. My boon is yours." Thank you all for your giving me that dignity.
I love the lovers so much.
So much.
I love it so much.
Per favore.
My bambino.
I think Brass loves it when they call him Bambino, but they never show on it. They're very tsundere about it. They're like, don't call me Bambino, but I don't mind if you have to. Like,
Flushing under your
have to, I
collar
don't
at the same time. Don't call me Bambino.
Exactly.
It's very funny. I feel so cared for and loved, but not the way you would assume with the lovers. More like my grandfather's asking me if I want extra sauce on my ziti, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Honestly, but that's love.
You're so skinny.
Honestly, that's love, though.
Thank you. I am looking skinny.
Eat, wither away.
Molto bene. Oh, well, I hate to put a dour mood on this whole lovers fest. We reached 2 successes of the 3 of you. That's good. That's good. But now it's time to see how the victims fare. Here's what's up. Each of you will draw 1 card from your comfort deck. The victims are simply trying to draw 8 or below, and if they do, they are successful. And if the victims tally more successes than you, they will reach the target first.
Does the fact that I drew a wild card help at all? Or hinder it all? You can make it worse. That's okay too.
The Empress. We didn't resolve that.
Fertility, nature, and beauty.
The only one I can think of is nature, and vines and fauna begin to grow and probably impede.
I don't know why water is such a semblance of fertility to me. It's nourishing. It literally keeps the world and people in the world alive. I'm thinking something like getting flushed out with water or some electric current equivalent to that.
Just because I like just upping the
Do it.
ante. Maybe the cathedral's slowly flooding. And it's not like spilling out of the cathedral. It's like just getting higher and higher.
Oh, that's even more terrifying.
Yeah.
An escape room with a time limit.
Well, and we've sort of morphed into the cathedral has become these streets of your past, Brass. So the water could be filling up like to your ankles and rising.
Yeah.
Can I offer some flavor to the water?
I wish you would.
Great.
You've talked about these hands reaching up from the ground, right? Mm-hmm. As the water begins to flood, the hands almost go with them, but then come out with a vengeance. Except now, each and every one of those hands is the hands of Stellar.
Your brain
Jesus Christ.
is wretched and beautiful at the same time.
I am a wonder, is what I will call myself.
Honestly, facts. You are. A wonder indeed.
Once more, a major arcana reaches down into your adventure and takes its share. This time, that major arcana is the Empress. And so the water begins to fill up the streets. And it does start to slow you down a little bit, like you're moving in slow motion. Both yourselves and the victims. And as this happens, Drac, those vines you mentioned, they creep up from the outside of busted windows, up from the ground, and they begin to simultaneously chase the victims and rush ahead of the victims to some unbeknownst point in the distance.
That's terrifying.
Because of the water, then instead of the victims drawing from your comfort deck, they're going to draw from instead your discomfort deck, which means they are trying to draw a 6 or below.
Into a Queen of Cups.
A failure.
8 of Pentacles.
Okay, another failure. This is good news because it means that the only thing that they can draw to catch up to you is a critical success. So Norden, draw anything but a crit success.
A 5 of Wands.
Okay, a regular success, but it's just regular, not critical.
There's always one.
You have tallied by 1 more successes than the victims do.
You chase the vines, and as you reach them, they are in fact busily at work. You've reached your target. X and KnightFall sit across from each other at an outdoor picnic table, which is laid with a gingham cloth and plated with rotted food. 3 figures sit painfully still at this table as many, many hands stretch out from the shadows, covering their mouths and holding their arms and legs in place, though they struggle against the vines which have begun to try and pry the hands off. They seem to be in a stalemate at this moment. As soon as one hand is gone, another appears, which the vines then pull off, but another replaces it.
You see X at the table, a large and muscular human woman, covered in facial piercings and sporting short dark green hair. All the tattooed scores of X's move dreamily across her chest. Her smile remains, that playful, crooked smile that can light even the darkest corners of space. And her eyes, which pierce directly into your soul, are trained unmoving on KnightFall.
You see KnightFall, an enormous steam android, a huge gleaming pile of silver armor. Their facial expressions are hidden behind a slatted visor. The plates of metal that compose their body have been stacked atop each other, creating a snake-like effect of overlapping pieces intended to move against each other in smooth articulation. Their body creates a metallic symphony as they struggle weakly against the shadowy hands that hold them in place.
And finally, you see Stellar. But something's not right. The normally beautiful cloud android is slumped over the table, the shadowy hands grabbing at her, less holding her down and more tearing away shadowy pieces of her. The hands grasp her head, and they turn it towards you as you approach. Her eyes are closed. She has been here for too long.
And Brass, you notice something different about her. Her throat. It's had some work done on it, and it looks to be organic. You'd recognize the handiwork anywhere, considering it's the same handiwork that rebuilt you after your accident. Ephemera's metaphorical fingerprints are all over this work, and you recollect a brief trip she took alone after the death of your mother Symphonic.
Snowshoe, you see her throat too, and you recall that she spoke to you about it with love in her voice, though vague in the details.
She told me ages ago she lost someone. She wanted to sing with her friend forever, so she had her voice box installed with her own, and she succeeded.
The water rises. The vines struggle against an endless sea of shadowy hands. You've made it before the victims, and you see a flicker of recognition occur in your siblings' eyes, Brass. They cannot speak, but they do know you still. You've made it in time, but your horde of victims approaches.
The only thing that happens as Snowshoe crosses through is he simply falls to his knees. I have 6 scars, by the way. Snowshoe is covered, his arms, that is, are covered with blood as every old scar is opened up. Scars that no one would even know are supposed to be there. And as he falls, he steadies himself on his fists, now on all fours. I know who you are, Chase. You know who I am. I'm the one who taught you how to go through the networks. And I feel like I have very little time to tell you so. And then, with that, he just falls face first.
I think Chase is stuck. I think they were making their way towards X with their cuffs out, like off of their utility belt, and is walking up to X before they end up stopping again and looking down at Snowshoe. Are you okay? Get... And they'll clip the cuffs back onto their belt and go help Snowshoe.
Who do you want to be, Chase?
I want to be the best bounty hunter in the entire network.
The networks don't matter. Most people never come here. It's out there in the real world if you want a reputation that you should hunt. Not here where people are vulnerable. Not unless they are an actual threat.
It seems like they pose a pretty credible threat either here or in the waking world.
I don't know who this X is. Or at least, I don't think I do. For all I know, it could be another lover in my past. This has been a cavalcade of that. But I don't know this X. I don't know what they have done to deserve this. I do know that you are at a precipice. You want to be better than you are. At least I think that. I'll get up, don't worry.
And I think Chase sits in that.
Chase, don't get old. It's not worth it.
Point taken. And I think Chase stands back up and is like fiddling with the cuffs that are on their utility belt. You're right. I do want to be better. Better at my job. Chase will turn around and go right back to getting ready to handcuff X. We don't hesitate. I will never disrespect my family, our legacy, or what generations and generations and generations of what we do. We don't get marks because they didn't do anything. To get on our radar, you have to be in our periphery. So you may not know. And honestly, I don't need to know. All I need to know is, do you need me to do my job? Yes or no?
Information first.
I get more on the bounty if they're alive.
Not just about X.
Brass is making a beeline for KnightFall and is going to start trying to rip and tear away at the hands holding KnightFall back, holding KnightFall down. And all this anger, this coldness almost immediately melts away as they see their younger sibling held down, terrified in front of them. KnightFall. Hold on, I'm here. It's Brass. I'm here. And I'm going to start trying to tear away at whatever's stopping KnightFall from talking, anything that's holding them down as best I can.
Brass, you attempt to rip away these shadowy hands, and you are aided by the Empress's vines. And so it feels almost remarkably easy to do so. And you do. And when you do, the temporal shifts, no longer drawing primarily from the beings stuck here, and everything around you is thrown into a state of tangible panic. A mess of memories floods this place, encircling you, the noise of arguments and fights and terrors, and through it all, a lullaby softly rises, distorted and warbled. Brass, you're being pulled. You feel nightfall, somewhere, invisibly, take you by the hand, leading you to a familiar place. A memory, softly tucked away amidst the horrors of the temporal. You and Nightfall, you had a routine. If one of you had a nightmare, they'd wake the other. Then together, you would tiptoe through the darkened hallway and crack open your parents' bedroom door as quietly as you could. But Symphonic would always wake. She would smile and pull back the covers so you and Nightfall could scamper in. At this point, Itinerant would awaken, sometimes grumbling good-naturedly about the time. And then, when you were all snuggled up in a sea of duvets, Symphonic would begin to sing a lullaby, one she wrote for you. Sometimes Itinerant would join in, and sometimes she would just listen. And it's just like you remember. You and Nightfall are kids again. Really young, before Itinerant left, before your sibling became cloaked in armor, before your bloody, endless pursuit of vengeance. Nightfall pulls you by the hand down that darkened hallway, pulls you into bed between your mothers, and pulls the blanket over you as Symphonic begins to sing. And Nightfall looks softly between your mother's faces, eyes brimming with tears, before they turn to you, and they say,
Itinerant, Stellar. She didn't make it, Brass. She's gone. But she left this here, her most treasured memory.
Brass looks up at Nightfall and will take their hand and gently squeeze it.
I'm sorry. She's not really here. She was gone by the time we got here. This is all that's left.
You don't need to apologize, Nightfall. I'm sorry.
You don't have to be sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm the older brother.
I didn't tell you that I found her.
Come here. Brass just pull Nightfall into a hug.
They grasp you so strongly. They were not bigger than you or stronger than you at this time, but you can feel their fingers digging into your back, and you can feel their body heaving with sobs. And the voice box, Brass. Ephemera gave it to her. It's Mom's. It's Symphonic's.
Brass will look to Stella, what is left of them. I'll reach out and as gently as I can, with a level of incredible care, like you're handling an artifact or some deeply religious item, they will take the voice box.
I think Nightfall reaches out and helps you dislodge it, and in this memory that Stellar left behind, she actually assists you. And Nightfall says, I've been in here a long time, and I'm not going to tell you how to feel about Mom, but I think that she left because she thought it would keep us safe. I think she thought it was the right thing to do, and I just didn't want you to kill her, Brass. I'm sorry. I didn't want you to kill her.
You don't need to apologize. I wouldn't have been able to.
I'm so happy to hear that. I'm so happy that I'm gonna remember you. They were coming to eat every single memory I had of you, Brass.
I don't think Brass has any words at this point. They just pull Nightfall into a hug.
And Nightfall returns it in equal measure, and so the memory drifts over you, through you, and away. The final gift that your mother Stellar left for both of you in this place. Chase, you turn away from Snowshoe. You get your cuffs back out. You approach X, who is bound, whose mouth is covered. The vines continue to try to pull away the shadowy hands. The water rises, now at knee level. You fucked up. You hesitated. What are you going to do this time? Do you want to be what your parents want you to be? Will you forge your own path? What do you do with X?
I forge my own path, and my path, not just because it's what my family does, what I truly only know, the only thing I've ever done since I was a child was hunt, find, strike. So my path is my family's path, is my parents' path. For me, not them. I put the cuffs on her.
And as you do, one of the vines succeeds in finally freeing her mouth.
I'm so fucking tired of fighting people. I'm so fucking tired of fighting for people's love. Just kill me. Kill me, Chase.
There's our problem right there, X. You're tired of fighting for people's love. I don't have to fight. I get what's due to me and in due time, but I love you too much to kill you. At least with Arrest, I have some semblance that you are still out there, even if I can't have you. But what's wrong is wrong.
Do you think I want to live like this? If you loved me, you would do it, Chase.
You don't get to question my love for you, X. Haven't I proved long enough just exactly how much and how deep I do?
You have proved you're exactly like your parents, Chase.
I have proved I am exactly like me. If I was my mother, if I was my father, you wouldn't even be at this table. There would have been a bullet in your skull as soon as we laid eyes on each other.
So fucking do it then.
I'm not like them.
As I was returned to this place and I hear and see, as far as I'm concerned, Chase hesitating. And I think without a word, I'm going to push my metallic arm against their back, and I'll use metamorphosis to make a spike to erupt through their back and out their front.
I'm going to rule this as like both of you draw from your comfort deck, being something that this is what you have led up to for so long. You knew that this something like this might happen. So this is in your wheelhouse. Whoever is lower will succeed.
Whoever's lower?
Yeah.
Oh, 5 of Cups.
Justice.
Excuse me, I gotta go.
Holy shit. Holy fucking shit. Oh my god.
I would like to pitch for this justice pull.
Please, yeah.
Collapsed down on the ground, Snowshoe looks up. The environment changes. There's a grin. And you succeed in driving your blade right through Snowshoe's back.
I'm sorry, come again?
Holy
I think I had
shit.
a miniature stroke. Can you repeat that for me one more time, please?
How will we determine how much damage this does? I think that is...
Well, it's at least a scar.
Okay, but that's his last scar.
Right. Reaching your scar threshold, because this means this Snowshoe now has 7 scars, doesn't necessarily kill you in this game, to my knowledge, right?
That's right.
Exactly.
So let's say for now, it happens as it happens, and Snowshoe is, we'll call him for sake of argument, a dead man walking, you know what I mean? I'm still around, but, almost mortally wounded. It's bad. Did you really think I let you kill each other?
What is your problem?
I'm sick and tired of you, Snowshoe. I only joined this group to find my sibling. I'm not here to get taught lessons by either of you. To step out of the way.
You already saved your fucking sibling.
And I'm going to kill my mother's murderer.
What do you think I'm arresting her for?
That's the key word there, Chase.
You know what? Fuck this. And you're high and mighty, wanting to be better than everyone else out there. This was unnecessary. You came on this mission to save your fucking sibling, so that's what the fuck you do. You don't come in and take over into my territory.
That's why you're wrong. This isn't your territory.
Says who? Because as far as I see it, this is mine. They hold up their bounty hunter's wallet with their little ID in it. This is my territory.
I'd like to call in my boon.
Oh my god.
Yep.
So, my boon was with the High Priestess.
Yeah.
Intuition, enshroudedness, subconscious. And where are the networks, if not in the subconscious? So here's my pitch. I'd like to kick everyone who's alive at this table out of the networks and back into the waking world.
Yes.
Except me. I don't think I can do that for myself. KnightFall will awaken wherever they're asleep, and you two will awaken in that cabin with Pacemaker and no Snowshoe.
I'm going to use a resource from my outlaw playbook where I call in a favor from the criminal network. So the second I put cuffs on X, the cuffs will glow and they themselves will automatically be transported out into a cell in our bounty's prison. ready to be transported back to the waking world.
Yeah.
Don't ever fuck with me.
Chase, please, I don't want to go.
Oh, wow. Just to summarize what just occurred. Chase approached X, manacles in hand. Brass approaches X from behind, looking to kill. Snowshoe intercepts and gets driven through by Brass. Chase and Brass engage in a terse argument wherein Chase slaps manacles down on X's hands and X vanishes. No doubt a trick learned over many, many years of bounty hunting. And then Snowshoe reaches far out, both within and without of himself, and connects with the one who owes him a boon. And a snap, and both Chase and Brass wake up in the cabin. Snowshoe, you are in pain. You are running out of energy, out of consciousness. You have used your boon, and you are owed a calamity. The temporal has lost its nourishment on this night. It is hungry, hungrier now than it has ever been before, and it will remain that way. And it demands, it and the Hanged Man demand a sacrifice.
And you hear the Hanged Man's voice.
Mr. Snowshoe, we've done much good together, have we not? And now you seek answers from the High Priestess. That won't do. And here we are in limbo. And so I've come to collect, because I owe you a calamity, Mr. Snowshoe, and you owe me a choice. And I'm afraid it won't be a simple one. So either the temporal leaks out into Thorslow and the city falls into suspension, trapped in a temporal field of bad memories.
Jesus.
Or the temporal stays here, and all those within your immediate physical vicinity. I count 3, Pacemaker, Chase, and Brass. They will fall into suspension, trapped in bad memories within. So, Mr. Snowshoe, I ask you, which are you willing to surrender? The entirety of Thorslow? Or Chase, Brass, and Pacemaker?
Snowshoe, you understand the edict is wrapped up in this, and that a lot of his influence is at stake here, should the temporal escape into reality. Should all the pain edict took away suddenly return to those he counseled.
Oh, fuck you, B. It's funny. You say, I owe you a calamity. And yes, you do. No disagreement for me, but it seems that the calamity will not affect me, just the people around.
It seems that you've done a well enough job of placing yourself in danger and physical harm, Mr. Snowshoe. But if you really want, we can arrange something further.
Standing up from the place where X was sitting, as he had switched places, he reaches out one hand to one side into nothingness, another hand to the other nothingness. On one hand, the nothingness swirls like a mirage, and in the other, it fizzles like a glitch. Seems I'm right where I'm supposed to be. You want someone to be stuck here? You have me.
Mr. Snowshoe, your surrender, I will take it.
And I think with that, there's a violent yank as the cathedral forms once more around, but broken this time. There's no faces anymore. And in the center, where the pulpit should be, upside down, arms outstretched, 1 foot extended into the air, is Snowshoe.
Jesus.
2 of you awaken in a cabin in Thorslow. Only 2. The other man in the room, Pacemaker, he whips himself to alertness. He's excited. He sees you wake up. He looks at Snowshoe expectantly. You're back! You're back! Listen. Why is he not waking up? Snowshoe? 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 Snowshoe, come on. Come on. Come on. Snowshoe.
Brass, upon waking up, they're almost immediately on their feet. They seem to have a mission in mind and they're going to fulfill it. After a few quick stretches, after spending so much time in the Dream Network, they turn towards the door of the cabin and head out. They don't look at Chase. They don't look at Snowshoe's body. They don't look at Pacemaker. they just leave. And they know exactly where they're going. First to find KnightFall, the younger sibling, and then next to find X, the one who's responsible for the loss of their parent.
Once Chase comes to, they will look at Pacemaker kind of solemnly and then look at Brass walk out the door, and Chase will turn to Pacemaker. If you're looking for Snowshoe, you can ask them. And they'll gesture their head towards the direction that Brass left in. Ask them why Snowshoe's not here. Chase will pull out their pip, their communication device, and start furiously typing on it before pressing send. I've got my mark. There's a bounty on his head, and it's mine.
Snowshoe, you have elected to stay in a place filled with memories, and you have elected to stay here in the place of others who might have been stuck. And so you have millions of memories at your fingertips. And if there is one last message you would like to send out to any one particular person, you may manipulate memories as such to do so.
There's a hesitation as Snowshoe reaches into the memories he shares with Pacemaker. But he doesn't. He couldn't dare, because what if the same fate would bestow upon him? So he reaches into a different memory. It was a call, or maybe it was inside of a dream, between an android, a friend, another person he taught to manipulate the networks. The next time you visit, you can come find me. The stars over this broken cathedral ceiling shine even brighter. And then Snowshoe closes his eyes, and even as he bleeds, and then the blood drips right back into his body, and he bleeds again, and it drips right back into his body. In his brain, he fights back against the memories, each and every one that is being ripped away. He might be stuck here, but he won't take it lying down.
Snowshoe, Chase, Brass, you danced around each other's worlds, and so they became entangled, a woven knot of devotion, obligation, reunion, and regret, all converging on this night, a night you will mark in years to come as an event horizon.
And yet, the world goes on. A parent watches their child take his first steps. Siblings race each other home, laughing and shrieking. Couples lie in bed, whispering sweet nothings, sweet everythings. Somewhere far south of Thoslow, Uncle Edic shoots up in bed, racked by a deep turmoil, akin to regret, akin to guilt, the source of which his waking self does not understand.
Thousands of people had the best day of their lives today. Thousands had their worst. Hundreds of thousands won't even remember what they did on this day, were you to ask them weeks, months, years from now.
They have no idea this was the day that some of you returned from your mission to rescue KnightFall.
They have no idea. The world goes on. Their lives simply continue. And so do yours.
We flick through the channels.
I love you too much to kill you.
I mean, it's no mistake that the digital network has been known for a long time to have a missing piece. Why did you let her go?
I want to know just as much as anybody else.
I love Tell.
What happened to KnightFall? Aren't you meant to be the leader of the network defenders?
Don't get old. It's not worth it.
Where's my mark? I know they're here.
I'm sorry. I'm the older brother.
And so they need someone to defend them. Not just someone, actually. Someone's.
I like it when you both sing it. Can both of you sing it tonight?
Yeah, can you both sing it?
Yeah, we want both of you to sing it.
Please.
Well, I know that you can hear it. It is such a simple song. La la la, la la la. Now you've got it. Sing along. Well, it only takes a minute, but it lasts
make it rhyme. Every tremulous note, every sweet line you wrote, each breath you took was the right one. We couldn't be prouder. You've landed on key. Well, I know you know the lyrics. Let me count you in. 1, 2, 3. La la la, la la la. There you did it. Now repeat. La la la, la la la. There you did it. Go to sleep. Go to sleep.
The Network Defenders, a story told using Planet Arcana's upcoming game, A Fool's Errand. That was Norden Ali Kadir as Snowshoe, Sam Starr as Chase, Draconics as the Brass Alchemist, B. Marsollier and J. STRAUTMAN as the world around them, with Sean Oldfield as tech producer. Scored, sound designed, and edited by J. STRAUTMAN, with additional music and lyrics by B. Marsollier. Additional production help by Peter Marsollier and Sky Wallace. Please support and follow the cast on social media, and if you're interested in updates on A Fool's Errand, the game we're developing in these episodes, consider joining the Planet Arcana Patreon or J&B's mailing lists. All information above is found in the show notes. See you for the next Fool's Errand.